Now, them's fighting words, Feared Fox. Why do you think that 17 or 15 is better than 17? I don't see any way that 15 is better than 17. Aside from maybe the map, the creativity of the maps was at its peak in 15. This Pat Dog, this is actually the default American map that came with 15. It's called Westbridge Hills. How are you doing, by the way, Pat Dog? Good to see you. So if you guys have been watching my Klaas Farm series on YouTube, this is the same map, but it's been flattened out. So if you see the North Frisian Marsh map, they've added dikes and they flattened the map out and turned it into a beautiful Dutch map. But this is the original, and this is the American version of it. Yeah, that's true. 17 is, or 19 is lacking the mods. I felt like 17 had a ton of really good mods, though. Yep, so technically it's the same one as my Klaas Farm, exactly. It's just this one has hills and is a little bit more American looking. Though still not 100% American looking. It's still kind of got a little bit of Euro fuzz going on. Yes, that's the map you'd be playing on the Xbox, yep. Hey, Fleetfoot Entertainment is now playing Hunter Call of the Wild. Oh, I should not have mowed uphill. 3,000 what? Who's Fleetfoot? She my wife. I your wife. Look out! Aw. I'm glad you think so. Now, the irony is this, Feared. I have the opposite. I actually have more FS19 mods than I've ever had any other mods. Because I feel like the mod makers are, in general, doing a better job on 19. There's less mods, but most of them are better quality. So, I don't know. But I've never had that many mods to begin with. I only ever have maybe like 50 mods to 100 mods. Sometimes a little bit more, but... Ooh, I just bonked myself in the face. Moni does agree with you, by the way. She disagrees with me. She agrees with you. She thinks that the mods are better on 15. I don't know if I'm sold on that or not, but... Is what still valid? Yeah, it is. Yep. Those are both still valid. What? Yeah. Okay, the region is slow firing because you have to reload between every shot, but it's devastating. It's devastating. It'll take down level 4 animals pretty easily. It's a bigger gun, and it's got a longer range. Exactly, Mac. That's the whole thing. Is that if you bring a mod in, if it's gonna suck, you see it immediately. Like, oh, this is bad. You know. Yeah, there have been some bad mods, but there's some really good ones out there too. Feared. What's that? Yeah, the maps have definitely been a disappointment on 19. I agree with that. 15's does not have seasons. It had what was called the soil mod. Wait. Did 15 have seasons? It did not. 17 was the first one. Yep. 15 has, like I said, it had the soil mod. I'm trying to think of what else it had, but it never had a calendar year. Nope. Seasons came out with 17. So we're going to start making biomass. The 7 millimeter? Yeah. Yeah. Which is what? The Mosin? Yeah. Yeah. Why is that? I don't know. I got to figure out what the dump button is. There we go. It's just plain old A. I need to figure out what the dump button was for the... I couldn't figure out what the dump button was for the silage. No, I was. Yeah, you said the Mosin. You're not getting full integrity on bears shooting them with a tier 3 gun? They're tier 4 animals. They must have changed that then. Huh. Weird. So those on you, for you on YouTube, you guys have seen this before. We are making silage at the plant. We're going to make just a couple loads. I don't want to make it like too much. I don't want to cheat too much. Once again, it's in the game, so it's not cheating. But you know, we're gonna mow a bit and get a little bit of income coming in here so that we can kind of buy some more fields and expand our farm equipment out to other types of equipment. So and number 3, there we go. Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you, Mac. That's been a big, as for those of you that have been watching my channel, you guys will know that I've been complaining also about the fact that he's talking about Pleasant Valley. It's a map that's come from 15 on. I'm also I get frustrated with that too. The maps just don't embrace that build your own farm mentality that it's supposed to be the big thing of FS19. You can build your own farm in FS19. Well, they don't let us do that. They just give us already built farms, and even if you don't have that, like you have a blank spot where the farm is supposed to go. Instead of giving you, there were a couple maps when it first came out that disappeared. So like Tombstone started to come into the game, and the author of the Tombstone map, if you guys go back, I had like two or three videos on that map that I did with John Deere, and I called it John Deere Farm Tombstone. And I was super excited. That was from Something on My Shoe too, the guy that made that. It was just a gorgeous map. And then all of a sudden he had some problems with Giants and they weren't going to approve the map, and he got frustrated and he quit. And the map stopped working with an update, and that was it. And the map was gone. But one thing that he did was he had on the map, he had like 18 different pads around this huge map where you could pick and build a farm. You didn't have to build a farm at one location. You could pick whatever location you wanted out of all these different locations that were available on the map. And it yeah, and the Giants didn't really come through with that because I think they assumed that the modding community would build the buildings, but they're just starting to do that now. So Global Company has fixed some of that problem, so I mean, with Global Company being out, there are lots of new buildings that are coming out that do like factory type stuff, which is cool. But Giants didn't give us a whole lot of buildings to pick from, and it even took them a couple months to get the terrain terraforming tools and stuff. We have them now and they work great, but they didn't at first. And so, but I think the map makers, those first couple months, there were maps that came out that had like, multiple pads, multiple places to build your farm. And I love that. And then they just went away. And because I think people are trying to look for maps that kind of, like Right, and then you run into those issues too. Like Chetty said, there's places where on some of these maps you can't place stuff. But it's frustrating because it's like that was one of the key features of 19 was to be able to build your own farm. But the truth of the matter is they didn't do a really good job implementing that. And Giants didn't either, because the Giants maps that they give us, pretty much they're like, this is where you kind of have to put your farm. And then everything else falls into place. But like that Tombstone map was a perfect example and exactly what I was looking for. It came with just a ton of those just blank cement pads, or it would be a blank cement pad and have maybe one or two spots on it for buildings. Yet Mercury Farms would be another one. And then, yeah, and now Mercury Farms came with its own buildings too. I think there was another one that was like that. But I'm just saying they just kind of, people just stopped. And then we've kind of not had many more people making maps that are like groundbreaking like that. They just kind of, we're just getting a bunch of repeats of the same old maps, you know. There are some new maps coming out, but I don't know. I kind of gave up on the maps, and maybe I should go back and look and see what else has come out recently, but I just kind of got frustrated. You know, Emerald Farms was another one that was a pretty decent map. It really only had one main farm spot, but it had two different places you could start a farm, so. Right, and that's the other thing, is that most of the mods now are just converts. They're conversions. That sucks. There you go. Alien Jim released the building mod pack. That's a good deal. Felsburn and Rayport have way more. Yeah, once they gave us the terraforming tools, right. Yeah, 15 was real. That's what I agree with you there, Feared. I think that 15 was the place where the map making was at its peak. Yeah, like a lot of authors don't give you any buildings, and I don't mind that, Osa. That doesn't bother me too much, because there are some buildings already available and sheds and stuff. I don't like it when they don't, you know, when they don't give a spot, several different spots. Like even this map, the North Fashish Marsh map for the Kloss farm, there aren't very many places to build your own farm, if you will. You know, now there's some grass fields. Like I put my brewery on a grass field. I bought the grass field and I turned it into a brewery, but I don't know. If you ignore the mods you get from the in-game hub, your mod list drops down to nothing. Yeah, that's true. But then again, I pretty much only ever pull my here's the other thing too, though. For me, as a content creator, Feared, I have to look out for stepping on people's toes. I don't want to get maps that are from this site or that site, because what happens is then they're like, oh, well, that's a stolen map. And I've run into that several times, and I'm like, shoot. I just get started working on this map, and then it's stolen. So I can't, you know, use it then on my series. And it's like, so the reason why I pretty much only use mods from the in-game mod hub is because I don't want to get in trouble with the authors, you know, for screwing them over and taking content that doesn't belong to people. So that is very frustrating too. That's been something that's been new with this version more than any other version. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree with you, Mac, or Mad Doc. I wish they would not do that, but I think that's what you're right. I think people just, they're trying to get mods, make maps that are going to get downloaded a ton rather than trying something new, and I just wish they would. Yeah, I like that, Osa. The Old Streams map was done well, because you can build your own. You can build the buildings again if you want, or you can kind of do it however you want. But once again, that's a map that has only one spot for a farm. Oh my gosh, this tractor just does not have the power to mow uphill. And we don't have a big M in this one, man. We're stuck. All right, so I'm going to turn the mower off. And we'll go dump this trailer off. Hey, what's up, Sea Dog? I am. I escaped the cold weather by going to England. I'm with my wife right now in England. So it is cold here, too, though. Actually, it's been colder here longer than it has in the U.S. It's been in the 40s, like, for the last month and a half, so... Animal caps. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Let's see, if you're taking animal, you don't like the idea of having to place more animal pens. Yeah, you just want to do one big pen. I get that. Yep, there's that large area north of the railway line. Yep. Oh wow, Yeah, I agree, Mac Doc. I'm going to do one more load of grass into this bin, and then we'll cover it up and let it silage overnight. I'll need to get a bucket. Biggest gripe with Oxygen David. But he does make, yeah, I like Oxygen David's maps. Yeah, I've heard Seth was telling me it was snowing earlier today. I was like, ooh, I'm sorry to hear that, son. You know what? The first couple snows of the year are fun, though. Especially if you get a white Christmas. That's always fun. But then after that, it's like February hits and you're like, okay, I'm over this. Let's move on to, let's get back to summer.
Well, I've never had a white Christmas in my life.
Simone's never had a white Christmas. That'll be happening next year, honey. Or at least in the next couple of years. Let's see. Oh, really? I bet you they're high stakes if you bet on, or good odds if you bet on you're going to have a white Christmas, because you probably aren't.
There was 1 year we almost had one.
Oh, you booger. Guy knocked me sideways. I'm not going to get much grass here. I'm going to try to run back and forth here a little bit, but... Oh, do you like the snow? I don't. I don't hate it, but I've been around it long enough that I don't really have to have it anymore. I've seen enough of it to know. Yeah. I'm glad. You don't like the snow, huh? You just like the cold that comes with it. Nope, the tree cutting was introduced in 15, so we have all the log cutting equipment. I actually have a trailer that I'm planning to use a little bit to do some logging, though they did really reduce the market for it. So it's funny, like they nerfed the wood cutting in this game, but they kept the silage super profitable. Quote unquote. Snow's your lifeblood, huh? Mad Doc the Viking. No, I could live without it. I've had enough life in snow. Once again, I like it. It's novel for the holidays, but I guess probably because the last 10 years of my life, they're always financially the worst months when it's snowing because I have no work at all. And so snow just reminds me of being broke, and it reminds me of just being miserable and you know, worried about how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to pay my cable bill? How am I going to pay my electric bill? How am I going to pay my gas? You know, it's like to me, that's what winter is, and I hate it. It's no longer fun. If I had money, it would be like, yeah, snow, you know, like I could enjoy it. Let's go inside and have hot cocoa and relax and cozy up by the fire. But my life isn't like that. It's more like those are the times of desperation. So, hey, have a good night, Bin Pin. Hopefully it won't be like that forever. And I don't think it will be. It's gotten better. The last couple of years have been a little bit better. So it was good having you, Bin Pin. We'll say good night. Yeah, I love the Christmas vibe. Me too. I'm looking forward to Christmas here. My kids are really mad that I'm not there, but we'll see them next year. They'll be fine. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, sea dog. I don't know. That's the good snow, though. If you want snow, like if it's coming up on Christmas, you're praying for lake effect snow. Because you know you'll get like, 3 to 5 inches or more, maybe like a foot or two. And it piles up and everything. You step outside and there's no sound because it's just everything's coated in snow and it absorbs all the sound and it's like super peaceful outside. Yeah, I like that. That's a good feeling. Reminds me of being a kid. I love that that good old weather. Good old snowy weather. Hey Babs, it looks like my chat's not. No, it's going. Okay. Yeah. You're not going to miss it until you drive up there. Yeah. I do like driving in the snow, believe it or not. Now, I don't like it when there's a lot of traffic, but when you're off by yourself, like on a road, and it's just, like especially if you have a four-wheel drive. I used to have it, man. I had my Jeep, and it was like all decked out, and I had these, huge like halogen lights, like blue, like those blue, like my friend gave me this really nice set of Hella lights. Like that went along in the grill, so I had like this, like it just lit the whole, like you drive at night and the snow's come down and the road's all lit up and it was so cool. I do like driving in the snow when you have a good snow vehicle, There's a guy I did work for, yeah, in general, like if you're on the freeway or whatever and there's a lot of cars around, that's scary. It's not fun. I don't mind it, but I if I have to go out, I go out. But yeah, the tiny cars are the worst because they don't stop. There's no weight. Both my Soul and my XB were terrible in that snow. But there was a dude I did work for one time, computer work for, and he had what they call a Pinsgauer. I don't know if you guys know what this is, but it's basically like a Unimog. It's a Swiss version of a Unimog, and he and his kids would go out in this thing whenever there was a really bad snowstorm. And they would drive around and pick up stranded motorists and like tow their cars out and stuff. It was really cool. He's like, yeah, we go out and rescue people. So he would rescue people like you and I that would get stuck in the median with this Pinsgauer. It was really cool. And he was selling it. I was like, oh man, I wish I knew somebody that wanted it, or if I had money, I would have bought it. Yeah, Chevy Cruze is not the greatest. Yeah, that's a little car to be in the snow. That's, I've never driven my car in the snow. I've never, the Sonata I bought, and then my ex-wife took it. We got divorced. I bought it in early spring, and then my ex-wife was gone by summer, and she had taken it with her. So I've never actually driven that car in the snow. I think it's probably going to be better than the Kia was. The Kia was terrible in the snow, and I did warn my ex-wife. I'm like, be very careful because it doesn't stop in the snow. Like it just wants to go. You'll be pressing the brakes and the car's not stopping, and it'll just keep going. It's because it's lightweight. All right, we need to switch over. That's the last load of grass that we're going to do for the day. I don't want to overdo the silage thing, but we'll do it here and there. So
I don't know, man. I'll tell you what. Some of those smaller. I'll tell you, if you put the right tires on a small car, some really narrow tires, like a Corolla's going to have really narrow tires. If you put narrow tires on one of those cars, it will actually do really well in the snow. The Chevy Trailblazer, yep, that's what I had. I had a 4-wheel drive Jimmy, and then I had that Jeep, and man, they were both awesome. She can't get going in the snow, but when it does great. That's funny. Yeah, I used to have a Chevy Cavalier, and it had these crappy little tires on it. And I'll tell you what, though, when the snow was bad, those little tires, they just stuck to the road, man. And I'd be flying around corners in that thing like in the snow. It was like driving like a rally driver. Snow flying up on the sides of the cars. I'm like, pounding the accelerator to the floor, and it would just grab and go, those little tiny wheels. It's like, the last thing you want in snow are SUV tires. Most SUVs have these big sled-like tires. They're not designed to be actual off-road tires. They're to get better mileage and stuff. And they're flat, and they're big, and they just act like big skis or sleds. You actually want really narrow tires on a vehicle in the snow. That's why, if you ever see, take a look at some WRC rally tires, like what they use for the World Rally Championship, and you'll see that they're super, super narrow tires. So, drop these things off. I'm going to do it here. Yeah. I'm a world-class snow driver. Wait, it's 78% already? Oh, I thought we were compacting at like 20%. Yeah, well, if you get a Duramax, make sure you get yourself some snow tires to go with it, like for the winter. Because those pickup trucks, even if they're 4-wheel drive, a pickup truck is terrible in the snow because it's just all the weight's like in the middle, and so there's no weight in the back, and you're going to be sliding all over the place. They are okay with 4-wheel drive. If you have 2-wheel drive, you're just done. Forget it. I love watching people with 2-wheel drive pickup trucks try to drive in snow. Especially back in the day when they had those old Chevy. Wait, why can't I fill this? Hang on. E, enter. E. Do I need to fill it more before I can close it? Maybe I do. Yeah, make sure you get it. Yeah, make sure you get something with a... Wait a minute. I think maybe you have to fill it past 10%. Yeah, see, I can't cover this yet, so we got to fill it more. We're going to have to get some more material. Yep, 10%. Yep. Yep. That's so funny, Jack. Watch me make a lot more money than you do, but it'll also be much more tedious. Yeah, so I would say, make sure those old S10, like the S10 Chevy pickups, like seeing people driving along sideways, like crab legging down the street, like trying to get somewhere, and it's like, man, no thanks. We're gonna climb up this hill, and I'm gonna mow down. I'm not gonna mow up. I'm gonna mow down. That sounded wrong. I'm going to mow down on this hill. So we'll keep the episode rolling. I'm not going to film anymore for YouTube because we're almost at half an hour here, but I'll come back when we're getting ready to cover this up. I won't make you on YouTube watch anymore. But those of you on Twitch, you're my slaves. All right. Tractor Boy Fishing says he's hungry. And Utah is small, JC. So, yes, I would agree with that statement. It looks great, but it is small. It's cool, though. I mean, there was some... Oh, we're only at 9%. Dang it, we got to fill some more. So one more mowing that we have to do. Sorry, guys. We're going to have to do a little bit more mowing. Rats. I'm lurking. All right, so we're going to fill it. We're at 92%. We're at 11% filled up and 94% compacted. So we should be able to cover this thing up now and
call an end to this YouTube video. Let's see how we did. And tomorrow we'll be able to shovel this stuff and make some money. Blanket silo R. And so now they're fermenting overnight. That's going to bring us some serious money. I'm going to guess about $100,000 to $200,000. So I think we have a stream bot set up. I'll have to ask Feared about that. Well, you do need big buds, and that is a big part of Welker Farms. So anyway, with bated breath, I'm waiting to see what Millennial Farmer's map looks like. I love Millennial Farmer. I watch his videos pretty much on a daily basis, and enjoy watching his vlogs. And I hope that the map is up to snuff. But I'm not going to be mad either. Thanks, Tractor. She takes great care of me. Tractor Boy said he's glad that I found somebody that takes good care of me. You do take good care of me. Yeah, Feared is my IT guy. That's correct. He's my keeping the stream working stuff. Staff. It's not stuff. Keeping the stream working staff is what I meant to say, not stuff. So we've planted this field in with grass. My point is to do this. I wanted to be able to make grass bales and stuff, and then also feed our sheep, which we're going to be getting more of. Now, see, the biplanes, those airplanes that are on these maps drive me crazy. Because they're always, like, every 2 minutes, it's like... I'm like, okay, I got it. There's an airplane. There was one map that did it right, and I forget which one it was, but there's one map that had an airplane. The airplane would only show up like every half an hour. So, yeah, like Oakfield does that. Like there's an airplane that goes by, but it's super rare that you see it. So it makes it feel more like you're really seeing an airplane going by. Why am I doing sheep? Because I want to. Sheep are actually pretty profitable in 15. They make a decent amount of money. So we're going to buy some more sheep. We're going to start getting into cows. We're going to buy the equipment we need, but we're going to use silage to get there. So the next goal is to get a round baler and a bale wrapper so that we can more efficiently make silage. But for right now, this is how we do it. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen watching on YouTube, hopefully you have enjoyed this video as we put our stuff away for the evening. And actually, we're not done for the day, but we're going to stop doing mowing for a little bit, and I'm going to go to the shop and get some pieces, parts, and we'll get that in the next episode. So have a great night, ladies and gentlemen on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. Thumbs up always help, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Bye.